Let us continue with the tragic life of Angie and Maria. Honestly, like last episode, I swear I was trying so hard not to cry when I was filming it. At school, Maria Oni-chan was in a similar circumstance to me. Oh dang, that was turns us into the music. Compared to the other kids in her class, Maria Oni-chan's tempo was always a beat too slow. Her impressionability and way of thinking about things were a little peculiar, and she was a little too idiosyncratic to blend in with them. Her grades were low as well, and yet she was talkative when it came to her specialist field of the occult, which led her to being treated like a weirdo by everyone else in the class. If she touches you, you'll be cursed, stuff like that. Everyone in the class acted like she was gross and made fun of her and avoided her, it seems. Boys who bumped into Maria Oni-chan would start wiping that part of them off against the other boy. Wow, okay, that's just cruel, jeez. They would pick up her stuff between pinched fingers like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. As for the girls, they appeared to find even speaking to her unpleasant. They ignored her completely, giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake. We really don't. And this is like before like the internet. Can you imagine that?
いじめられて悲しいけど、でも仕方ないと思うの。仕方ない？どうして？だってクラスには一人いじめられっ子がいないといけないってルールなんだもん。
That's the most true thing Maria has ever said, at least from my elementary school experience. And for some reason it was like 1/3 of the time I was the kid who fell in that role. Like I swear this episode's getting too relatable.
もしもマリアがいなくなったら、きっとマリアの代わりに新しい誰かが新しいいじめられっ子に選ばれる。マリアが我慢することで、マリアはその子をかばってあげられるの。
As she said that, she smiled faintly. Maria Oni-chan's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, there was always a witch residing in a place called school. Nice. No, she says that anywhere that a lot of people gather will most certainly have a witch residing there. The witch tries to make the students perish by disease or accident so that she can... Jeez. She sometimes also corrupts the souls, leading them down a path of evil. Maria Oni-chan told me that an angel came, not content to let that happen.
天使様はね、魔女をやっつけようとした。でも魔女は兄弟で、戦いは7日7番に及んだんだけど、それでも決着しなかった。
I see she's been watching Dragon Ball.
疲れ切った魔女は休戦しようと言ってこう提案したの。前に聞いたわ。私はこれまでクラスの生徒の半分を病気にしたり、でもその代わりに残りの半分の生徒は病気と怪我から守ってきました。だからもしもクラスの一人を私への生贄にいじめ、その他全員の生徒を病気や怪我から守りましょう。
Okay, that's very messed up.
おう、天使様は考えたの。クラスの半分が不幸になることに比べたら、
But like, wouldn't the angel have wanted to keep fighting? Like...
それに魔女はその強力な力で他全員の生徒の安全を守ってくれる。
Also, I'm just gonna adjust my mic real quick. Hope that wasn't too loud.
クラスに40人の生徒がいるとして、20人の犠牲者が1人に減って19人が助かるというわけね。実に合理的な提案。
No, it's not logical. I wonder if this fairy tale has some kind of motif. If it's creation of Maria Oni-chan, a 9-year-old girl, that would be pretty impressive.
天使様はその提案を飲むことにした。だから一人の生贄によって19人は救われた。だからマリアの役割は大切なの。魔女は19人を守ってる。私たちが生贄になることによってその19人に感謝された覚えはないけれど。
Maria Oni-chan's thinking is too compassionate. The miserableness of her situations is very similar. And yet there's a difference in our inner peace, just because of a small difference in her way of thinking.
それでマリアお姉ちゃんは悲しくないの？うん、 悲しくなんかないよ。だってこれからはサク太郎が一緒だもんね。サク太郎、ウリュウ、マリアと一緒な。
Wait, what?
僕も元気。
I think if your stuffed animal starts talking to you, there's a problem.
ほら、サク太郎も元気って言ってるよ。
Maria Oni-chan held up the Sakutaro stuffed animal, playing both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand, but that's exactly why I want to reach Maria Oni-chan's level. This is what makes me so strongly interested in her tale and her words.
エンジェは一人ぼっちだから辛い？辛いわ。でもマリアお姉ちゃんとこうしていられる時間だけは別。一人ぼっちじゃないから。ならサク太郎もお友達になればもっと楽しくなるよ。うん。じゃあ今日からサク太郎もエンジェの新しいお友達だよ。
Sorry, I was just making sure my OBS was actually going. I'm always terrified of it doing that, like, mid-recording. And by that, I mean just stop recording. Aw, it really is so cute. They better sell this as marketable merch. Like, I know I'm gonna have to, like, go on eBay and buy it, but I don't care. Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was... Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria Oni-chan made Sakutaro emote. She was controlling him, but the charming way he waved his short hand and cocked his head to the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutaro. Of course, if you would look at it with cold eyes, you would only see Maria Oni-chan comforting mopey old me with a stuffed animal. But that stuffed animal had definitely been imbued with the soul of Maria Oni-chan's love. So I accepted the existence of being called Sakutaro inside that stuffed animal. As Sakutaro timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria Oni-chan's back in surprise. Maria Oni-chan really is good at playing with stuffed animals. I held out my right hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakutaro's short hand was stuck out towards me and lightly touched my index finger. After all, the size is all wrong for a handshake between a human and a stuffed animal. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake. The Uryu. Maria Oni-chan had given the name Sakutaro to the stuffed animal she was going to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she had met him, his existence had been sublimated into a personality. From the very moment they met, the two of them were already friends. Of course, I didn't think anyone could be as personified and loved as Sakutaro was, but that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria Oni-chan's eyes. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe it was partly that Auntie Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet, or maybe just that let her in it desire to treat things as... Honestly, I wouldn't give her a pet though, because she'd like say they're magic or something. Maybe it was that she was isolated and she had been forced to find friends closer to... She just sacrifices a goldfish for Beatrice. Because of all of those various circumstances, this wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Yet even so, Sakutaro, and maybe I should call him Sakutaro like Maria Oni-chan, it was certain that Sakutaro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend who was more loved than anything or anyone. It was also a bit of a relatable experience. When I was little, I actually still have him, this like stuffed Pooh Bear that I got from my aunt, and it was my favorite stuffed animal. Like, I loved that stuffed animal so much, I'd take him everywhere. I'm very happy that I still have him, even though his arms are not in the best of condition. Because I used to like drag him by the arm like Christopher Robin did. It was already past 9 at night. Rosa had asked out of surprise since this wasn't an appropriate time for a friend to be over, but when she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, to think that she would have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal, Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked her birthday present so much.
ママどうしても仕事が片付かなくて来期のラインナップが難航してるの。ようやく少しずつ注目され始めたみたいで、なんとかここで期待に応えられるインパクトを与えたいのよ。
今夜もお泊まり？いいよ、頑張ってママ。
そう、ありがとうねマリア。ママのお仕事のことを分かってくれて。
Rosa was very surprised that Maria had accepted with such indifference that she couldn't come home. Telling Maria that she would be coming home later staying overnight had been a heavy burden for Rosa. Maria would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone, and it took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. Is this also thanks to Sakataro? Rosa was once again pleased that she had given such a good...
明日のこの時間には帰れるようにするわ。明日は一緒に夕食をとりましょう。マリアは
I have a feeling that's not gonna happen.
コンビニでお弁当を買ってきて食べてね。お菓子は
Wait,
ダメよ。
buy
ジュー
a
スもダメ
ben...
よ。
She's not old enough to do that.
レシートも入れておくね。
And maybe it's just like an older parenting thing. I don't know, my parents would never let me unsupervised out of like a grocery store when I was that age.
こら、サク太郎はダメよ。お留守番させなさい。
From Maria's manner of speech, Rosa got the feeling that Maria had been going shopping with the stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rosa's forehead creased, and after sourly telling Maria that she was absolutely not to, she hung up.
おお、サク太郎とお買い物ダメだってママに言われ。ウリュウ、マリアとお買い物に行けない。一人でお留守番、寂しい。
So what a nice room.
なんでママ。
It's actually surprisingly organized. Maria always struck me as the type of person to have like a really messy house.
おお、
Well, not house, but like room specifically.
ウリュウ。
Well, yeah, no, Rosa would make the house messy.
きっと僕がマリアと一緒にいるのを見られると恥ずかしいんだよ。恥ずかしい？なんで？ママはよく僕を外に連れて行っちゃいけないって言うし、マリアのことをよくもう何歳になったんだからダメとかそういう言い方をするし。マリアはサクタラと一緒で全然恥ずかしくないよ。僕はライオンだけどぬいぐるみだし。ライオンでぬいぐるみだけど。
Imagine if Maria showed up with like an actual lion at like a store or something.
一緒にお出かけしよう。ママがいない時だけ内緒で。お、ひょっとしてサク太郎も恥ずかしい？僕は恥ずかしくないけど、ウリュウ、ちょっとお外の人が怖い。そっか、じゃあサク太郎が怖くなくて一緒にお出かけできるようにする。マリアに任せて、便利なのがあるの。
Maria started fishing around her messy room. Rosa often told her, wait, messy? Yeah, I was just saying it wasn't messy. Like, look at, like, see, I mean, I guess that the plushes are technically on the floor, but, like, everything else is nice and neat. Rosa often told her to clean it up, but she was just as bad at cleaning up her room. However, she knew more or less where everything was. So much as whenever Rosa would take it upon herself to tidy up, Maria would have trouble Okay, again, relatable. That's what my my room was very messy, but I'd always be like, oh, but I know where things are. It's a little bit better. Maria proudly held it up high. Sakataro looked at the gaping open knapsack and shifted uneasily.
これなら一緒にお買い物に行けるし、サクタロも怖くないよ。
Maria held Sakataro up and started stuffing him into the knapsack. At first he tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. Says he tried to pushing him in again, feet first.
きつい、狭い、暗い、ほら、大丈夫だよ。頭を出せば狭くないし、暗くないから怖くないよ。景色もいいよ。ウリュウ、本当だ。これならマリアと一緒にお買い物に行っても大丈夫？大丈夫だよ。今日のお夕食は何がいいかな。さあ
Order a pizza. No, order a prank pizza. This was still an era where you could get away with it.
マリアお姉ちゃん楽しそう。
とっても楽しい。一人だったら寂しくてつまらないことでも、サク太郎が一緒なら何でも楽しい。どんな人間のお友達だって夕方になったらお家へ帰らなきゃならない。でもサク太郎は帰らないし、いつまでも一緒にいてくれる。一緒にテレビも見るし、お布団の中だって一緒だし、雷が怖い夜には手だって握っていてくれる。クローゼットやベッドの下のお化けだって追っ払ってくれるんだよ。サク太郎頼もしい。
A true sad.
ウリュウ、マリアを怖がらせるお化けは僕ライオンだから勇気を出して追い払っちゃうよ。ウリュウ、ガオー。
They were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older than Murioni-chan, but I can call her nothing else. Even now, she stands above me like an older sister, and I am yet to reach her level. If only I had a friend close by like Sakataro.
マリアもサク太郎もエンジェの身近なお友達だよ。いつもマリアたちはエンジェのすぐそばにいる。でもエンジェの魔法が弱いから、こうしてマリアの日記を開かないと知覚できないだけ。
知覚？マリアお姉ちゃんは難しい言葉を知ってるね。
According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits, as natural and nearby as a light
風って
breeze.
普段は気にもしないし見えもしないけれど、お線香の煙とかがたなびくとそれを見ることができるんじゃない？
そうね。そしてそれは見えなくても普段から私たちの身近にあるものだわ。
そういうこと。マリアもサク太郎もいつだってエンジェのすぐ近くで一緒なんだよ。神様や精霊、守護霊も私たちのすぐ身近にいるの。でも意識しないと存在を感じられない。目では見えない風のように。でもそれは確実に私たちの身近にあって、魔力という煙がたなびけば誰にだって見えるものなの。
I had thought that I could only see Maria, that I only met Maria Oni-chan when I opened this diary. But from what she said, she was always there with me, and I could meet her at any time if I truly
マ
desired
リア
to.
は自分の日記に日々の記録と一緒に自分の魂の
I
かけらを
imagine that
残
was
してお
very
いたの。
painful.
だから
It's a
この日記には
Horcrux.
マリアの魔法の力が宿っている。
Imagine that. The secret to defeating Beatrice, Battle has to find the things that she left part of her soul in.
私にだけはわかるの？
だってエンジェはマリアと同じで魔女の力を宿しているもの。エンジェだってちゃんとお勉強すればきっと将来立派な魔女になれるんだよ。
魔女、それは楽しいのかしら？
楽しいよ。そうすれば
Yeah, you get to kill people in very horrific ways and then revive them over and over
いつも
again.
身近にいるのがわかるようになるよ。そしたら毎日がとっても楽しくなる。そしたらエンジェにマリアは他にもたくさんのお友達を紹介できるよ。そしたら毎日が忙しくてとっても賑やかになるよ。
それは楽しいかもしれない。マリアお姉ちゃんが残した魔導書も持ってるわ。今度真面目に読んでみるわね。そしたら私も一人ぼっちじゃなくなるかな。
Murioni-chan and Sakataro said that at the same time, happy that I had developed an interest in the world of witches. In the world of Warcraft, oh no. That'd be traumatizing. Is it? I don't know. I hear a lot of bad things about World of Warcraft, but I also hear a lot of good things, so. With half of Sakataro's face peeking out of the knapsack on her back, Maria walked through the late-night shopping district in high spirits. It was only to be expected given the time. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters on their shop or an employee rushing or else staggering back home. I missed out that Maria, in the best moods as though she was hiking, probably stood out a great deal. The occasional passing employees glanced backwards over their shoulders at her with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. However, the recently popular convenience stores stayed open. Ah, I see, so the supermarket's losing business. Very important. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often later still. Maria took the knapsack out of her back, hugging it close to her chest. She headed over to the sweet buns. They said no sweets. She pointed each of the sweet buns she had eaten before, explaining to Sakataro that this one was delicious, and that this one was pretty good too. And this one sucks. Sakataro seemed to be enjoying it a lot.
マリアは3色パンにする。これ一つでね、あんことクリームといちごジャムが食べられるの。でもたまにウグイスあんだったり白あんだったりするの。あんこは
Wait,
一
green
種類でいい。
pea jam?
うりゅー。
That sounds honestly not that
いろ
great.
いろ入ってて面白そう。うりゅー。あとはマリアはフルーツヨーグルトにする。フルーツ入ってるけどお菓子じゃないよね。うん、きっとママも大丈夫。サクタラもどれか欲しい？うりゅう？いいの？お金
No,
は
you-
大丈夫？
You're gonna spend a lot of money.
ほら、聖徳太子なの。
5,000 yen. How much is that actually?
だからサ
You
ク
know what?
タラにも
I'm looking this up.
好きなものを買ってあげられるよ。
That's apparently $32. That,
一緒に
but this
食べ
isn't like modern times too.
ヨーグル
But wait,
ト食べる？
still, like things are probably cheaper. When Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sakataro tilted his head. Also, I keep saying modern times. Like, sorry, I know I just interrupted myself, but it really isn't that old. I think it's 1980. Is that Higurashi? I don't know. I'm confusing myself now.
おー、じゃあこの小さいおか30円だね。安い。うりゅ、僕はそれでいい。マリアと一緒にヨーグルト。サクタルと一緒にヨーグ。
Maria put the 3-flavor bun and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man working the register, previously in charge of the tobacco shop that had been in this spot. I love this, the
お
detail.
嬢ちゃん、この時間によく見かけるね。偉いけど、今度からこの時間のお買い物にはお母さんと一緒においでね。
ママがいいって言ったから大丈夫。ママはいつもお仕事で帰りが遅いけど、マリアたちは寂しくなんかないの。ね、サクタロ。うりゅー。
そっか、そりゃ大変だね。ほら、ジュースを一本おまけしてあげるよ。
Dang, this guy's awesome. The best character in Umineko, free soda. The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register. In fact, imagine if like you... it's actually like a beer or something. Maria and Sakataro just get high.
さん、ありがとう。うん。よかったね。
We're drunk.
サクタロ。
Not high.
うりゅー。
Since she had been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. Are you littering? That's not allowed. With a plastic bag with the sweet bun in it hanging from her elbow, and hugging the knapsack with Sakataro in it in the same room, the two of them walked home drinking the soda.
柚子胡椒ソーダって微妙。サクタロも飲んでみる？うりゅうりゅうりゅうりゅうりゅうりゅううりゅう。うりゅう。マリアひどい。
Mean?
まじゅい。だよね。
Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can to Sakataro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was great fun for Maria to say the taste. Oh, I pressed enter. Oops. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, the moon had been clouded by tears when Rosa had stayed over at work, and Maria had thrown a tantrum and been scolded by her mother. But this moon was very warm, and it seemed to watch over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves, Maria and Sakataro, and as he watched the two of them go from behind. What a heartwarming sight. The sight of Maria Oni-chan and Sakataro walking away together made it very difficult to remember the several occasions on which she had spent long nights crying because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't admit this to Maria Oni-chan, but if I had been in the same position, even if I had given that stuffed animal the name Sakataro, it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship which only distracts you from your loneliness, but Maria Oni-chan was different. Sakataro wasn't a stuffed animal or toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could play all by themselves. Was it because Sakataro was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. If there was a little secret here, it doesn't lie within Sakataro. I think it probably lies within Maria Oni-chan.
マリア
So I hate to do this, but you know, it's that time of the video where I have to go get my laundry. Alright, I'm back. I feel like this happens every single video now, but you know what, it's fine.
おお、魔法を知るということは今まですぐそばにいたのに気づけなかったたくさんの友達に気づけるということ。まるで新しいおもちゃ屋さんが近所にたくさんできるみたいに楽しいこと。
If I, too, walked up in an academy without a single friend, had the same kind of power as Maria Oni-chan, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I hit shift instead of enter. I wonder if I'd become able to honestly shed tears on the night I feel like crying, and crack a smile when the nights are gray.
できるよ。エンジェはできる。だってエンジェにだって魔女になれる資格があるもん。
魔女になる資格。
マリアも魔女になれる資格あるんだよ。だからまだまだ勉強中の
What are the
修行
qualifications?
中なの。
Please tell me. I will start my. Wait, no, witches aren't real.
素敵な魔女になって
Tried to trick me there.
ほうきでお空をかけてケーンで虹を描いて飴玉を空から降らせるの。マリアはきっとできるよ。そしたらエンジェにも見せてあげるね。きっとそれは素敵な夢の中のような光景だから。
Maria Oni-chan said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way we can become witches. But when I listen to her speak, I can believe that maybe we really could. Because the fact is that on this troubled night, where not a single flower of a smile could bloom, her magic had certainly given birth to a smile.
魔女になれるかな。
なれるよ。エンジェは少し年齢を重ねちゃったから魂が少し重力に惹かれちゃってる。だからマリアよりも修行は大変かもしれないけど、でもきっとなれるよ。だってもうエンジェは魔法の一端に触れてるもの。
私が魔法を。
だってほら、もうこの世にはいない私をこうして呼び出して語らっているよ。
これは魔法なの？
私が日記に残した魂のかけらをエンジェは魔法で膨らませて私を蘇らせてる。さっきも言ったよね。こうして私と再会して会話ができて時に笑顔を見せられるんだから、エンジェは魔法の才能がきっとあるんだよ。マリアお姉ちゃんが保証する。
Maria guaranteed.
お姉ちゃんがさっき言ったわ。私は日記を開いた時にしか会えないと思ってるけど、本当はいつも身近にいるって。私に魔法の力がもっとあれば、それを見て今こうしているようにお姉ちゃんと会話ができる？いつでも？
いつでもお話できるよ。朝のおはようの時だっていつもそばにいるし、授業中だってそばにいる。
I never left your side, Auntie.
退屈な授業は私とお話しして気を紛らわせようよ。食事の時には話し相手になれるし、お昼休みだってこれまでのようにいつも一緒にいようよ。放課後だって一緒にいるし、もちろん寮に帰ってからだって私はいつもそばにいる。日記を広げた時にしか私を見てくれないだけ。
日記を閉じてもマリアお姉ちゃんは私のそばにいてくれるんだよね。
いるよ。だからエンジェが私を見ようとして、そして話そうとしてくれれば私はきっと答えられるよ。しっかりと見て話そうとしてくれれば。
私やってみる。
簡単じゃないよ。いきなり上手くなんてきっといかないよ。
分かってる。きっと簡単じゃないと思う。でも私マリアお姉ちゃんみたいになりたい。
おお、わかった。じゃあ私をよく見て、しっかり見て。ゆっくり目を閉じたり開いたりして。
The witch training is beginning.
いきなり
Let's just. I am kind of being quiet. This is just. I'm just observing.
私の姿を瞳に焼き付けてはそれをまぶたの裏に染み込ませていくつもりで。
やってる。
まぶたを閉じても私をイメージできるようになったら、そのままゆっくり柔らかく目を閉じていて。どう？まだ私が見えている？
多分見えてると思う。
じゃあ一度目を開いて。いよいよ本番。心を落ち着けたら日記を閉じて。その時一度マリアの姿は消えてしまうかもしれない。でも焦らずに心を落ち着けて。そしてまぶたの裏に染み込ませた私を逆に瞳に染み込ませていくつもりで、ゆっくりと虚空に私をイメージして、私を虚空に見て。
大丈夫。じゃあ閉じるね、日記。
Slowly, I closed the diary. When I closed the diary, a gray reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Maria Onechan's form disappeared. Give it all you've got. Have courage. Take the first step into the world of witches. I felt like Maria Onechan was cheering me on inside my heart. Cheering me on? Really? Isn't that just what I'd like to imagine? No, that's not it. I just convinced myself that it is, and that's why I cannot see her. Mione-chan is always by my side, and even now she's definitely there cheering me on to do my best, and I can hear it. So I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination of the inner voice of my own heart. Believe that Maria Oni-chan is there. I mustn't doubt. I believe. Oni-chan said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But as I faced the empty space, the empty back wall of the school building, and missed those almost hurtlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out her name was so much easier said than done. The chains of common sense which had clung to me until today sneered at me, telling me that... Wait! Hang on, I just realized something about this entire... I think this is like a bit of... This kind of ties into like the overall theme of like, is the culprit a person or a witch? Because it's the same thing of like common sense versus anything could have happened. Like, we don't know the truth, so it's easy for us to be like, oh, it's a witch who did it, because we don't know what else to think. And like, while there's all these rules about like, oh, this door was locked or this person was here, we're thinking with common sense. To think like a witch would have to think without that. Dang, sorry, I just had a little bit of a moment there. It was almost like being told to take a step forward off the roof of a skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. Maria Onechan was telling me that it's alright that I can do it. Stop thinking that you might fall, or that it would be foolish to take a step off a roof, and free yourself from those chains of common sense. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind, making the form of Maria Onechan you can see vividly on the inside of your eyelids rise to the surface in the empty space before you. Understand magic and see Oni-chan.
Maria, お姉ちゃん。
誰かいるの？
Suddenly answered by the sound of rustling bushes and a wild cry came to my senses. Apparently oh, no. No, I'd been so immersed in the world of the diary that I had noticed that someone else had come afterwards. I recognized a group of three beyond the bushes. They were oh no! I felt as though they had come behind the school building to gossip about someone or talk in secret. I hurried out of that place, because if it became known that I had been alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it would probably create more things for me to deal with.
言ったよね。言ったよね。マリアお姉ちゃんとか言ったよね。やばくない？心霊とか見えちゃってんじゃないの？
Oh god.
後ろ宮さんって面白い。
I could hear the shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Mione-chan had been made fun of, I left that place at a quick pace and then half run once I turned the corner. And I might have made it to Oni-chan's world with just a little more time. Frustrating, aggravating, why does everyone get in my way? I've never gotten in their way, not even once. I ran and ran, but it still felt as though I could hear their shrill laughs. Dang. Honestly, that kinda is like the bullying experience, like, oh, 12 years, geez. 1998. But yeah, like it's the experience, like, because the thing is with bullying, a lot of people don't, like, they think that there's a cause for it, but they just kind of single out a person and just, like, go after them, even if, like, you don't interact or know who they are. Like, I've had people pick on me who I don't even know, like, their name or who they were. They just, like, saw someone and they're like, okay, that's who I'm gonna go for. So who are you?
追っかけがうざかったんでちょっと巻こうと思って。
Angie and an old gentleman wearing an expensive suit were alone in a massive modern conference room. The conference room was equipped with all the latest equipment for presentations, while keeping intact a refined and composed atmosphere. That alone was enough to make abundantly clear that worth of the corporation that was its owner. However, Angie couldn't have cared less. Looking aloof from the road, she sat sovereignly in one of the high-class chairs from executives with salaries probably north of 20 million
下
yen.
の方の階で改装工事してて転落防止ネットがあるの知ってましたし。
Angie dismissed it with an offhand comment, but in reality it had been a miracle among miracles. She had saw through several layers of safety netting for the... Oh, been caught by a multicolored banner adorning the... You see, this is what I mean about, like, witches versus common sense. Like, because to us, when we saw, like, that happen the end of last episode, it would seem like she, like, did magic and flew away. But no, she, I guess she just got really lucky. Been softly caught by a final bandit landing on the ground without a scratch, and then left that place at a brisk walk. I'll put Hong Kong movies. Nice.
高さ200メートルの超もしも思い通りにならなかったら今頃大変なことになってただろうよ。
死んだら死んだでそれまでってことでもいいかなって思いまして、まあそのちょっとした運試しです。若気の至りってことで。
Angie shrugged coldly, not cloud, well, as though saying that she had enough of that topic. At this rate, the old gentleman who was looking at the road below through the window burst into laughter.
運試しときたか。いやはや、やっぱり金蔵さんのお孫さんだね。うんぷてんぷ。天の流れに命を預けてもケロリとしてるその度胸。会長も博打に平気で命をかけられる人だったが、これも後ろ宮の血なのかね。やっぱりあんた将来大物になるよ。悪いことは言わない。家出ごっこはこの辺で切り上げて須磨寺の家に戻ったらどうだい。
お母さん実家と仲が悪かったって聞いてます。お葬式で初対面の人の家になんて。
The Sumadera family is my mom's family. It's a bit of an old family from Kyoto and unbelievably strict in a way you could never imagine from the frank way Mom acted. The only person in the Sumadera family I had been on good terms with was Grandpa, who was living separately under the guise of retirement. Mom, too, kept up contact only with Grandpa, and had nothing to do with the rest of the family at all, nor they were with her, to an ugly degree. Even for me, Grandpa's house was only part of the Sumadera family I ever went to visit. Being young, I hadn't really understood it at the time, but I hear that Grandpa, as a man who married into his wife's family, was in an extreme weak position, and his relationship with Grandma was also bad. In fact, maybe he could even have said that he was hated by Grandma and confined to that house. It isn't hard to imagine that because he had a soft spot for Grandpa alone. Mom was probably also hated by the Sumadera family. As her daughter, I was probably also hated quite a bit. And yet they had appeared for the first time at my parents' funeral, shamelessly going on about how I'd grown like they could actually act like a family after all this time. After Auntie Eva died, all the wealth of the Ushiromiya family was inherited by me. If they weren't after that, there's no way they'd been able to say such disgusting words.
まあ、一人ぼっちになっちまって自暴自棄になりたいエンジェちゃんの気持ちも。
自暴自棄とかじゃないです。こううるさいエヴァおばさんもやっとくたばったんで久しぶりにのびのびと散歩してるだけじゃないですか。周りが大げさに騒ぎすぎなだけです。
They're all just after the vast Ushiromiya wealth I'm sorted with anyway. They must think that if they become my guardians, they'll be able to do whatever they please. Wow, they really just... Like, she was in the wrong family. Like, the Ushiromiya's... I don't know. It's like, even before, like, this with just Angie, It's always about money.
エンジェちゃんも辛いことがあったら俺でよかったらいつでも相談してな。エンジェちゃんのこと実の孫みたいに思ってるんだからさ。
Wait, what?
当面はノーサンキューということで、それより話を戻してください。
エンジェちゃん、何度
Also, it's strange how we can't see his
俺
name
が
yet.
隠してることは何もないよ。あの日の六軒島の唯一の生き残りが会長なんだ。
The chairman? Wait, what?
その会長が何も語らずに言っちまった。
Oh, I was... Wow, sorry, I was a bit stupid there.
俺だって何もわからないよ。すべては闇の中だ。
The old gentleman was one of a number of corporate heavyweights who, after Eva had passed away, had been entrusted with the business groups he had built. Oh, Eva passed away? What? The one he referred to as the chairman, technically the former chairwoman, was Yoshima Eva. Yeah, I kind of pieced that together, but a little on the late side. His company had once had a friendly relationship with Hideyoshi's company, and he had been a close friend of both Hideyoshi and Eva. For that reason, after Eva lost Hideyoshi, he had become the only person whom she could reveal her true thoughts. Even when... Not Eva... What? Why am I butchering the reading now? When Eva's hurt had been torn by the loss of her family and she had taken it out on Angie, he had also acted as a buffer between the two, so although Angie didn't trust him, she too found him an easy person to pay a visit.
あの事件は、いや、事故か。事件なんて言っちまったら怒られちまうな。それは俺も世間やワイドショーと同じ程度の疑問は持ったさ。
どうしてエヴァおばさんは事故当時、屋敷から
The thing I want to know is, why is, like, the third, like, game thing was, like, like, the third iteration of the events, the thing I don't understand was, why was the third iteration of the events, like, the canon one?
当時、金蔵さんは次の後継ぎに誰を選ぶかで迷われていた。表向きは長男のクラウスさんってことになってたんだが。
それで親兄弟4人の中から公平に跡継ぎを決めるため、碑文の謎というゲームじみた試練を課した。
Yep, and Eva solved it, and then proceeded to kill everyone else.
おそらく金蔵さんは初めからエヴァさんを当主後継ぎにするつもりだったんだ。長男が後継ぎだという自らのルールを撤回してでも、クラウスさんと違い非常に勤勉で優秀だったエヴァさんに家を任せたかったんだ。碑文の謎を解いた者に家督を引き継ぐなどという新ルールはクラウスさんから次期当主の肩書きを奪うためだけの茶番だったんだろうな。
Poor Kraus.
茶番って
Well, poor all of them, honestly. Like, they all... Even if they act kinda jerkish, they have, like, just such... like, I felt so bad for Eva at the start of last episode, but by the end, I didn't feel sorry for her at all, because of all the shit she did.
本当に金蔵さんが後を継がせたかったエヴァさんを呼び出し、その答えを与えるだけでいい。つまり、それこそが当主継承の証ってわけさ。
それはワイドショーでは言われていない話ですね。
まあ、当主継承がうんぬんなんて話をしたら余計陰謀説が優勢になっちゃうからね。俺もバカじゃないからさ、誤解を招くようなことはわざわざ口にしないよ。
The way he told it went like this. At the time, the head of the Yoshima family, Kinzo, diagnosed with little time left to live, was troubled over the problem of who was to succeed him. Normally, the successor would be fixed as the oldest son, Kraus, as laid out by Kinzo himself. But in his late years, Kinzo began to think that Eva was a more fitting... Did he? However, Kinzo, stubborn even to himself and obstructed by the title of the successor that he'd given to Kraus, searched for an official stance by which he could skip over Kraus. That seems a little strange. I don't remember him favoring her. I don't know. I feel like we need to see more of Kinzo. I'm hoping we do this episode because he died. Yeah, he just died randomly in the first episode. Third episode, he was dead early on. Second, he didn't really do much. I wonder if this one he's actually going to be active. And on the day of what would probably be his final family conference, Kinzo had told Eva the answer. What? And sort of was the same time. That's not what happened.
エヴァさんはあの日、金蔵さんに呼ばれ、それを打ち明けられたんだ。そして、 当主を引き継ぐため当主だけが知る隠し館である。
で、一足早くその隠し館で待っていたエヴァおばさんはそのおかげで事故の難を逃れた。
I am so confused right now.
エヴァおばさんが全ての財産を奪うために
Yes, that's what we saw. There might be like something hidden here, because I mean, obviously we get shown like witch battles that we have to deny, but that's the. I mean, she sought battle at the end.
だが俺はエヴァさんを信じてるよ。信ずるに足るポイントがいくつかあると思ってる。
例えば
今エンジェちゃんが指に通してるその後ろ三宅当主の指輪だよ。その指輪は金蔵さんが特別に作らせた世界に一つしかない指輪だ。そして今エンジェちゃんが指にしているものは間違いなくそれだと作った細工師も認めてる。
The Ushiromiya family head's ring. That ring, with the heft of gold and only one in the one-ringed crest on it, had diamonds adorn the pedestal and possessed both stateliness and the sense of gaudy extravagance. Yeah, I hope I said that right. Kinzo had worn that on his finger, never removing it even for a moment. The fact that Eva had apparently proof that Kinzo had acknowledged her as the successor to the head.
その指輪を確かにエヴァさんが持つとして、実際にエヴァさんが優秀で、クラウスさんにはビジネスシーンでの数々の集大が知られていたことを加味すると、エヴァさんの話は全くの作り話とは思えないんだ。
Well, maybe not completely made up, but yeah, that's more that sounds more accurate
そし
there.
てエヴァおばさんは何らかの細工をして事故に見せかけて一族を皆殺しにした。
そうだな。大衆氏は財産の独り占めが目当てで一族を皆殺しにしたなんて言ってるようだな。確かにエヴァさんはここ一番では随分思い切ったこともしちゃう人だよ。あるいは後宮家の財産を独り占めできるチャンス。
But there's one part that doesn't add up about that, and that's the death of Hideyoshi and George. Like last episode, we theorized that like maybe that it was a confrontation that ended in Hideyoshi's death. George's death, we have no idea what happened there.
俺は
そう信ずるに足るポイントの2つ目は
エヴァさんのご家族だよ。秀吉さんにジョージ君、エンジェちゃんはにわかには信じがたいだろうけど、
Yeah, like
エヴァさんはあれでかなり家族を大事にする人だったんだ。
that's definitely off. He was right. I found it very hard to believe that or admit that, but deep inside I knew. Aunt Eva really had been a person who treasured her family greatly. The root of her twisted personality had been nothing more than the sadness of losing her beloved husband and son. Having been used as an outlet for all that emotion, I had no feelings of sympathy for her at all. I don't blame her, honestly. Well, I'm talking about Angie, not Eva. Like, what she did was horrible.
家族を愛したエヴァおばさんが夫と息子を見捨てるわけがないと。
そうだ。もし本当にエヴァさんが犯人で一族を事故に見せかけて皆殺しにしたならば、夫と息子が絶対に生き残ってるはずなんだ。
Like I said, that means that there was probably like a second force that happened. Like, maybe not witches. But actually, hang on. No, we gotta think about this real quick. Like, we didn't solve this last episode. Is it possible? Well, no, we solved Hideyoshi's. We know about like that with George. Is it possible that like there was someone else who was out for money, like killing? Like, I don't know, that there really isn't a lot of evidence for it, but
偶然自分の家族だけが隠し館にいたとへりくつをこねてね。もし秀吉さんとジョージ君も無事だったなら、さすがの俺でもエヴァさんの陰謀を疑ったろうよ。俺は秀吉さんの葬儀で見せたエヴァさんのあの号泣を演技だなんて到底思えんね。
どっちも状況証拠的ですね。エヴァおばさんの潔白を物理的に示すには至らない。
それを言っちゃおしまいだよ。生き残ったのはエヴァさんのみ。その彼女がそれが真実だ
when
と
the
言うんだ
seagulls
から
cried,
さ。
only one was left alive. So I had to do it.
彼女の潔白は誰にも証明できない。
ああ、そうさ。そして彼女の犯行も
It's the devil's proof.
できない。
Please say devil's proof.
そして信ずるべきポイントの最後が警察だ。何しろ派手な事件だったからね。陰謀説を騒ぐ世論に後押しされて警察が随分とエヴァさんを調べたはずさ。
Didn't she spend the rest of her life like getting investigated anyway? Well, at least everyone thinking she murdered everyone. Which, from her knowledge, she did. It's easy to feel something unnatural about the claim that Eva had escaped the accident by coincidence, because she and she alone had escaped to a hidden mansion. Furthermore, at the time, Hideyoshi's company had been right in the middle of a takeover struggle and had wanted a larger sum of cash in order to buy off the big stockholders. It shouldn't be too hard to find a motive there. But as a matter of fact, en route to the family's conference, Eva's person had been perfectly clean. Nothing unnatural was found on her that could have been used to brutally... But there was things on the island. The servants who escaped harm by being off duty on that day also stated that they hadn't seen anything strange regarding anyone related to the event included. Putting all that together, it could only be concluded that Yoshima Eva had headed to the Rokanjima for a normal family Say it in red. You have to say it now, but like, there's definitely something that it doesn't add up there. But I'm trying to think, like, oh, hang on. Okay, this is a bit of a bold claim. What if what we saw in episode 3 wasn't the whole truth? Because think about it, like, they're putting a lot of detail into, like, oh, she might not have done it, but, like, we saw her do it. But at the same time, we saw witches kill everyone, but, like, we gotta deny that. So does that mean that to deny witches, we have to both deny witches and also deny that Eva's the culprit? Like, it just, there's no way, there's just too many things that's like kind of pointing to, oh, Eva isn't, like, I definitely think that Eva did something that day, but I don't think she was the only one who did something. But that's weird because I can't figure out any, yeah, Nanzo's murder. That, okay, we gotta think of, oh, he said the line, but Nanzo's murder, that's the one that, like, we need to solve, because there was, like, oh, yeah, that was, like, the red truths that were really annoying that Battler had to cover his ears, and Beatrice whispered the way that would deny witches. So, there is a way to explain it, but, like, they went through the red truths of saying everyone was dead. It's so complicated.
消極的事実の証明は不可能だ。
エヴァおばさんが犯罪を犯したか否か、それを判断する材料が見つからないから、そのまま真相は迷宮入り。
Yeah, it's the worst part of all. This remains. I don't think I can solve this without more information. Like, I can't think of anything that would explain, because I'm just thinking of, like, all the red truths about, like, oh, this person is dead, this person is dead, this person is dead. I think it was just Jessica, Battler, and Eva who were alive. Jessica, they said didn't do it, Battler didn't do it, and they also said Eva didn't do it. Which means that, like... But what if she did... Episode 3 could also be canon in the way that, like, everyone... Well, not canon, like, canon. Like, I mean, like, the one that we're seeing played out right now. Like, what if there was someone else killing people, and that, yeah, then she finds George's body, she takes out Battler, and then she escapes. But we gotta find this other person because they found Jessica and killed her, so we're still unforgivable. I won't give up because of it.
唯一の生存者であるエヴァさんの話を信じられるか否か。俺は信じたよ。指輪の話や彼女の尊敬できる家族愛、そして葬儀で見せた涙、それらを加味して考えて彼女の話を信じようと思った。
Well, I decide that you're stupid.
でも 私は信じない。
Yeah, you tell him, Angie.
指輪なんて奪う気なら方法はいくらでもあるだろうし、家族仲が本当に良かったか
It
な。
definitely
誰にも
seems
わからない。
like there's.
葬儀の涙が本物かな。
I don't know how
証
else I
明
can
不能。
My brain's
とい
hurting.
うか、私はそもそも
It's easier
エヴァお
not
ば
to
さんなん
think.
て大嫌い。だから私は彼女の話を信じようなんて思わない。
Wait, what's that sound? Do you hear that? Oh, it's a sound effect.
事件の真相をどう見るか。
It was like birds or something. Oh
俺
no,
とエンジ
there's
ちゃんで真っ向から対立しち
traffic.
まったな
Okay.
俺たちに与えられてる情報は全く同じなのに、こういうこと政治や経済でもよくあるんだ。同じ事業をやっても必ず評価は分かれちまう。どうしてかわかるかい？
いいえ。
愛があるかどうかさ。相手に愛を感じてるかどうかで物の見え方は全く違うってことなんだ。好きな人が貧しい人に施しをすれば尊敬できるだろう。でも嫌いな奴が施しなんて始めたら売名行為だとかばらまき行政だとか非難合々さ。
Wait, this connects to what we saw with Maria, like the thing of that. Yeah, that like if to Angie it's just like that. Well, she said that like it looked nice, but she could never imagine her like having a stuffed animal and never being lonely. It's about like if you can truly believe.
何をしてもしなくても愛があれば
And that also connects to what Bataro, because the first few episodes, if I remember correctly, Bataro didn't want to accuse anyone of murder.
それが世の中ってもんなんだ。
エヴァおばさんのことを信じられるか信じられないか、それだけの違いってことですか？
彼女を疑う人間には彼女が何をしてもしなくてもそれは実に不自然に見えるだろうさ。逆もしかり。俺はね、世の中には真実なんてものはよっぽどのことがない限り、いや仮にもし真実が存在したとしてもそれを信じるか信じないかは愛があるか否かで決められちまう。絶対性の宿らない真実なんてエヴァさんが物理的なアリバイを示したとしても君はそれを信じられたかい？
He has a point. I hate Aunt Eva, so I'll probably deny all information beneficial to her and maliciously interpret. Oh my god, my critical thinking professor would hate me for this. And yes, critical thinking is a real class I was forced to take at college. There was like a word just for this. That's like a fallacy. I totally forget what the name is, even though it was on the final. In other words, inside myself the truth is already decided, and yet I'm still unsatisfied, so searching for the truth. So what exactly is this truth I'm searching for?
そういうことさ。
Is it confirmation by... That one I do remember from the class.
俺から何を聞こうとも何を聞いても今更何も変わらないってことなのさ。少なくとも今のエンジェちゃんじゃ仮に未知の新事実を掴んだと
And what's
して
even
も
the point of this conversation
真相に至る
anyway?
ことはできんと思うね。
私では真相に至れませんか？
だってエンジェちゃんはどんな新情報や新証拠が見つかったってエヴァさんが犯人だってスタンスは変えないんだろう。ならこれ以上何を調べたって意味はないじゃないか。君の中の真相はすでに決まっているわけさ。だがもしエンジェちゃんがそれを真相と思わずにさらに奥深くの本当の真相にたどり着きたいと願うならもう話したつもりなんだけどな。なんだかわかるかい？
愛ですか？よく意味がわからないです。
エンジェちゃんは今エヴァさんを犯人だと仮定し物を
Like, it really is just like, if you care... Like, it's also like, for example, say if like two people were accused of lying and one of them is your friend and one of them definitely lied, you're of course gonna stick by your friend. Like, that's just because like you care about them more.
片目じゃどんなに目を凝らしても物を立体的に見ることはできないだろ。だからもう一つ目がいるんだ。もちろん今の目とは別の立場での。
エヴァおばさんが犯人ではない。 あるいは本当に事故であるという仮定にも基づいて
そうそう、その通り。物事を考えるときには異なる立ち位置から見るようにする。そうじゃないと本当のことは何もわからない。新聞だってそうさ。一つの新聞だけじゃその記事を書いた記者の目線一つでしかものが見られない。複数の新聞を読むことで初めて立体的かつ冷静に分析ができる。
I actually write for a newspaper, and yeah, that is very true.
愛がなければ真
We recently did an article where like two people wrote the same. Two people wrote like it was one question. Two people wrote articles on it, and they came out like very differently with different opinions.
いいね
Without love, the truth cannot be seen. Maybe he found it amusing that a cheesy phrase like that had popped out of his mouth. How dare he? For a while he laughed, looking pleased. By that, he was simultaneously declaring that he had told everything that he knew, and that it was difficult, and that it was about time for me to leave. Understanding that, I got to my feet.
俺にもエンジェちゃんの気持ちが分かったよ。あんたが納得するようにしばらく好きにしたらいい。当時君は6歳だった。わけがわからないうちに家族を失い、未だに心の整理がつかない気持ち。真相はわかるかもしれない、わからないかもしれない。エヴァさんは犯人かもしれないし、エンジェちゃんが信じる真実が見つけられるのを祈ってるよ。若いうちの旅も貴重な経験かもしれない。
ありがとうございます。お忙しいところお邪魔して本当にすみませんでした。
Okanogi.
おこのぎさん。
Huh?
言って言って。
Wait. Hang on just a moment. Angie's side. Oh, this is sad. Okanogi. That's why he looked from. Okay. A major player in the Yoshima group. After Eva's death and until Anzi succeeds the group, he and the other ministers are the ones managing it. However, since Anzi has no desire to do so, the group is on the brink of internal discord, putting him in a difficult position as well. He was previously the president of a food stuff distribution company and had a very close relationship with Hideyoshi's company. Because of that long-lasting association, Eva particularly trusted him, and he was... Oh, and Eva's dead. Can we see how she died? After being repeatedly hospitalized from psychogenic stress, and she is already dead in the road of 1998 due to acute heart failure. It always happens when they cry. The only survivor from Rokenzima, she lived with her later years in isolation with no one to understand her. The media gave her the name of Queen of Suspicion. She continued on a path of reckless expansion like Kinzo had done in the past and made many enemies. In her later years, she seemed to do this repeatedly as if she found it funny, and at the point it was no longer for economic reasons but simply to harass. And all of this was for the sake of Anzi, who would eventually succeed. Dang. Threw herself off the top of a skyscraper and miraculously survived unharmed. I love how that's like the first thing it says. Her mystical experience led her to abandon everything and go on a personal journey to discover her past. Will she, positioned 12 years in the future, be able to break through Beatrice's Hang on, I want to see the human side real quick. Okay, everyone's just listed as alive. That's interesting. What about wits? Okay, we have like a very oh wait, she's here. An endless witch who will live for the next 1,000 years. Maria's also here. The witch hunter to slay all witches. Without understanding witches, one will never slay a witch. After understanding witches, still never will one slay a witch. She understands witches and denies them. This contradictory power alone gives her the blade to slay. That's kind of awesome. A little maid who has inherited the black blood from Kinzo. Unlike Kinzo, she was gifted with natural talent and began to tread the path of the maze while still young. That said, her power is still weak and she is no more than an apprentice. However, she is skilled with enchantments which bestow magical power upon objects, and the magical items she creates compete with those of the Dang, that's... okay. She's got talent.
まあ適当に事件関係者やその道の専門家ってやつに何
そうか、納得のいく答えが見つかるといいな。
So strange that I can hear a taxi from like this looks like the top story of a building. At that moment, company president Okanogi's security came in and handed him over a memo over his shoulder. He read it and looked between it and my face.
旅に出てごらんと言った矢先で申し訳ないんだが、耳に入れといた方がいい情報だ。
That's convenient.
君今だいぶやばいらしいね。
私の金を狙ってる連中ですか？だからお金なんてくだらない。
だからって財産丸ごと売っ払って全額を福祉に寄付しようなんてしたら、エンジェちゃんの財産で川残用してる連中が目ん玉飛び出しちまうよ。
ああ、スマデラの家ですか。あいつら何を偉そうに保護者面して。
I have the precedent of Aunt Eva. Who would ever go under the care of the Sumidera family? They probably want, as Aunt Eva had so often threatened in the past, to cut off my arms and legs and throw me in a warehouse and suck the Yoshima family's wealth dry.
スマデラ家の使いがここに来るそうだ。君を引き渡せと。
Oh, whoa.
保護したいと言ってるな。
Okay. The music got very intense.
君のおばだよ。キリエさんの妹さんだ。君のことを妹のように思っていると前に話してたな。
ご冗談。せめて孫と言ってよ、あのババア。
文脈から見るに君の意思は聞く気がないようだ。地下2階の駐車場に車が待たせてある。行きなさい。
スマデラの家から引き渡せって言われてるんでしょ。いいの？私を行かせて。
This is very intense. Very like as simple as just don't talk to the family.
この歌詞はその時の出世払いってことにしとこう。行きな、早く。
After bowing soundly and deeply, Anzi left that place at a das. After watching her leave, the secretary strained her glasses and whispered,
スマデラ家からは足止めをしておくように言われていますが、行かせてよろしいのですか？
足止めならしたよ、十分に。
Wait, what?
それに間に合わないのはスマデラの過失だね。
Are you kidding? All of that to... You're a trade... Okay.
スマデラにはエンジェちゃんが来てるよと通報したし、捕まっても捕まらなくても双方に恨まれる。
You suck. Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
世の中はすべからく。
Yeah, love. Yeah, frick you, dude.
大丈夫。逃げ合わせる。何しろ追ってまくためにビルから飛び降りられるからね。
Okanogi again looked down at the road below and muttered, yeah, that'd be beyond me. Anzi was no fool herself. She got off the elevator and stepped out onto the third floor. A taxi in the second level of the basement? That's so overly courteous that it feels wrong. It'd be probably better to decline that. But my enemies aren't fools either. They probably have control of not just the... This is so intense. This is such a massive building. Instead of getting anxious and escaping outside, maybe it's better to stay on the... Yeah, that's a good idea. If like, you hide behind the desk or something. No, that's not good. Oh, if they gain never mind then. If they gain control of the security room in a modern building like this, I'll have nowhere to run. This entire building is like a massive dead end. The third floor is the business floor. A girl like me clearly sticks out. Trying not to stand out any more than I had to, I walked at a quick pace searching for an emergency staircase. One running down the outside of the building would be ideal. I found the door to the emergency staircase. After opening that heavy door, I found the outside stairs I was hoping to see. Once outside, I immediately encouraged the man smoking a cigarette who looked like an employee skipping work. After glaring at me, he quickly crushed up his cigarette and went away. It looks like there's no one below. If I'm going to escape, now is my only chance. Oh, jeez. Just when I thought that an incredible squealing of the tires, a black curse slid directly below me and came to a sudden stop. It felt as though the tires sounded like there were several more of them, and this one had come here to block the path.
かすみおばさん、やるじゃない。非常口から出てくるメイにまで送迎車を送るなんて。
Bam, bam, the corridor. Why are they so full? Like, I get that they're after money, but this is intense. Why I keep saying that? 3 men in black suits jumped out and they looked up at the emergency staircase. Ah, shoot, our eyes met. Like, are they... It really seems like they are gonna cut off her arms and legs if they catch her. The three of them began to clamber up the emergency staircase. They already announced that they're planning to be rough. This is pretty bad. They've probably been... Come on, Nancy, you can beat them up. They've probably been ordered to bring back by any means with one of my arms yanked off if necessary, just as long as I'm still breathing. Clank, clank, clank. Their heavy, wild footsteps became a helix and began to rise from the lower floor. Get out of there, or fight, one or the other. In the entrance lobby of the building, a woman was walking forwards at a leisurely pace with 7 black-suited guards. And dang, they love the black suits. Seeing this spontaneous entrance, the security guards for the building ran up to them asking if they had an appointment. Oh, that's probably her. Yeah, I'm just getting bad vibes just from looking at her. Maybe it's the haircut. Oh, nope, it's that. Why not hide, like, undo the stairs or something? So, okay, that made the noise again. Sumadera Kasumi, daughter of the declining noble family, Sumadera, Yoshima Kiri's younger sister. She hates her sister Kiri so much that she loathes everything about her, so she also Jeez, okay, that was a lie. She's the opposite of the free-willing person Kiri was, and holds appearances in high regards, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, that is nothing more than a manifestation of her complex towards her sister, causing her to crave the limelight. There are several opposing factions in the Sumadera family, and they are all constantly engaged in a secret feud over who will control the vast world. Nancy doesn't need someone to control this wealth. She can control it herself. Even though both of them wore bold smiles, they were caught in a tension reminiscent of the smell of gunpowder.
Ushiromiya group では時間厳守がモットーでしてな。時間を守れない人間は契約も守れないってのが先代会長の僕。
東京まで呼びつけてなんてざまなの？逃がしたわね。
逃げられたと言ってもらいたいですな。これでも随分足止めはしたんです。さすがに蹴取られましてね。スマデラさんが時間通りに来てくれれば問題はなかったのですが、これだから地方人はルーズで困るんです。
今なんとこの私になんと
You couldn't sense any of Kiri's sociability in the face of her younger sister. See raw on her face the arrogance of see, like that face, just she looks like she's about to say something really mean all the time. As well as pride, because he didn't want anyone to notice that her family was declining so much that she couldn't ignore the Yoshima family's wealth. Even at a glance, it was easy to understand why Anzi hated everything about her aunt. Kasumi couldn't stand even a slight insult, and while she still smiled, her eyebrows twitched. At that time, one of the men in black suits behind Kasumi whispered to her. Clank, clank, clank. As the violence of the sound drew a helix, it rushed up at me from below, threatening to swallow me up. Of course, even if I fight them, I stand no chance of winning. Even so, if I run into the building, it'll be like jumping into a dead end of my own accord. The enemies will increase in number with time. If I can't do anything here, I will not... So then 3 muscular black suits came out. Like, I guarantee if she tried to jump again, she'd get caught, like, she'd save herself somehow. I have a feeling she's gonna get away, even though the odds are against her. In other words, everyone who had gotten out of the car. If there had been just one of them, I might have been able to wait for the moment of arrival to dropkick him as hard as I could, which might have worked out. But it really isn't possible with 3 of them. Wait, 3, huh? 3 might just be about doable. I can do it. Yeah, go for it.
01より12確保したか。応答されたし、どうした。応答しろ。なんてやつだ。
The music changed. I can't tell if this is scary or cartoony. Look, see, that worked, didn't it? It's just 3. I've already experienced much higher places after all. I knew I could jump down. I just thinking that, like, jumping down would be the better option. Even if it wasn't as pleasant as a trampoline, it broke my fall, a little gently, a little roughly. Steal the curve too, that'd be funny.
ここまでへこむこともないだろう。
Having broken my fall, the roof of the car now had a massive dent around my body. I guess car roofs are more delicate than I thought. I just think it's because of my weight. Apparently the three men on the stairs hadn't anticipated me jumping down. Having realized that they had been outwitted, they were hurriedly rushing back down. I have to run and escape while I have the chance. As I moved my body, the car roof made buckling and popping sounds. But I had been naive. There was no way they'd all have rushed up the stairs without leaving one person behind. There was one black suit left in the driver's seat of the car that had broken my fall. He stuck his head out the window, and he realized that the thing that had fallen on him was me. He jumped out. In a rush, I jumped off the roof, but his reaction was really fast. Either there was a massive reward for capturing me or a harsh punishment for letting me get away.
気安く触らないで離して。
I was mercilessly held down against the asphalt. I was being crushed face down, covered and pressed down on from above. It was a hold without a trace of elegance, but it really was logical and left me absolutely no room for resistance. I tried to push back with both hands, searching for a way to resist, but I was being pushed down solidly and I couldn't even tear myself off the asphalt. Then another car came screwing its tires as it slid to a sudden stop. Guess it's all over. The man that had been crushing me let out a sharp cry. He had yelled close to my left ear, making it ring. What in the world? The black suit and I were unceremoniously rolled over. After being turned face up, the first thing I saw was an arm stuck out right in front of my eyes.
天草、あんたどうしてここに？
Who?
その話は巻いてからにしましょうぜ。お嬢、来る前早く。
Okay, this is a new person. Amakusa grabbed my arm and easily pulled me up, spinning me around with himself at the center of gravity. The thought of it was a little like a dance, lasted only a few brief moments before he flung me through the open door into the driver's seat. I climbed over the handbrake and slid into the passenger seat, pushing me through. Amakusa also got in and took up the driver's seat. Since we had suddenly taken off while I was still on all fours, I had to kick and struggle around the seat for a while, like a turtle flipped onto its back. Amakusa checked the rearview mirror for cars in pursuit, but flew into the artery of the big city without lowering his speed in the slightest. We sewed our way between cars one after another, just like the chase in some action movie. Tossed about by his horrible driving skills, I had trouble getting myself reseated.
お嬢、お怪我は？
問題ないわ。人間って案外頑丈よ。私、次からは下りのエレベーターを逃したら、窓から飛び降りることにするわ。
お嬢の趣味はエアダイブらしいや。ただ、
This guy has a cool design though.
つけることをお勧めしますぜ。
飛び降りた後に思い出せたらね。
Cool. He smacked the steering wheel, following. Wait, what? Need an explanation for this flippantly spoken man? Yes, I do. His name is Amakusa Juza. He was originally one of Aunt Eva's guards. If I remember correctly, she hated him for being too jokey and too chatty. He was especially young and missed the guards, but contrary to his outward flippancy, he had hopped from the 1st Airborne of the JSDF to the French Foreign Legion, placing himself in overseas private military companies and high-class security companies one after another, making for a pretty incredible and unique... Oh, dang. But I had heard that he ran off from both the JSDF and the French Foreign Legion, that he'd be arrested if he enters France again. Both these flippant episodes were very typical of him. Apparently the guards had been sternly told not to chat with me unnecessarily, but I recall that didn't stop him coming to take a pass at me. Aunt Eva had particularly disliked that, and I believe that she dismissed him right before she died.
その軽口が懐かしいわ。クビになった後はどうしてたの？
ブラックウォーターでエクササイズの指導。
How fun.
休暇で帰国したら、小此木社長に高給を提示されました。
で、また脱走？こんな男、何の役に立つのかしら。
来週までに帰りゃ脱走にはなりませんよ。話があったのは昨日です。お嬢が厄介な連中を呼び込むかもしれないと言われまして。
まさにその通りで申し訳ないわね。
お嬢と面識があってドタバタの経験も豊富ってことでご指名が来たんでしょう。お嬢のおかげでハッピーな休暇と小遣い稼ぎになりそうです。
さんがあんたを私の護衛に雇ったってこと？
お嬢に恩を売りたいんでしょうぜ。首の後、お好みの社長にはいろいろと世話になってました。
Okay, so maybe he does actually want to help her. I don't know.
弱みを握られてんで逆らえんのですわ。
お好みさんの世話になると後々で高くつきそうね。で、あんたは私をどこに連れて行くつもりなの？
どちらへでも週末までは雇われます。それ以降は別料金で。
1日いくら
5万で手を打ちます。
50K?
は別ですぞ。
悪
Jeez.
口を叩かないなら雇用期間は未定。何週間かになるかも。
そりゃ大変だ。ボスに休暇の延長を電話しないとなりませんぜ。
私どうしてもあの日のことが調べたいの。
ああ、例の六軒島の。
そうよ、12年前にあの島で何が私の手で納得がいくように調べたいの。
そんな昔のことを今さら調べて。
そうね、だからこれは私の自己満足のための旅なの。それを終えたらネギでも背負ってスマデラの家に行くわ。霞おばさん、私にお抹茶をご馳走したいとか言ってたけど、白材の上に正座させられて石でも抱かせれながらのお茶菓子か。
そりゃおっかねえや。
Very mixed on this guy. But I mean, he did help her. That was an interesting sequence.
申し訳ございません。見失いました。仲間と思われる男が一人、脱出を援護、スタンガン所持、運転技術その他から見て素人ではありません。
そう。
She's pissed. She doesn't show it, but she's pissed.
これがあなたのお返事だということでよろしいかしら？
逃がしたのはあんたのヘマだ。俺の知ったこっちゃないね。
あなたにもぜひ今度お抹茶をご馳走したいわね。京都においでの際にはぜひお立ち寄りなさいね。行くわよ。
あれ、もう帰っちまうのかい？お茶漬けでも食ってけばいいのに。
What's with that Takano-esque laugh? Back to Okanogi's, he laughed at first lightly, but with an increasingly shrill and hateful tone, using that as a substitute for a surpurting remark. At that exact moment, she stopped laughing and the look on her face changed dramatically to that of a demon. But because her back was facing him, Okanogi never saw that expression. Okanogi watched her go, laughing coolly. His secretary whispered over his shoulder.
エンジェお嬢様は我が社の筆頭株主です。スマデラ家が後見人になれば。
知ってる。だがな、うちも天下の後ろ宮だ。舐められてたまるかってんだ。しかしあいつうまく立ち回ってくれたようだな。あとはエンジちゃんの好きにさせるさ。頼むぜ天草。
霞様、逃走車両はレンタル、提示した免許証は偽装とのこと。
Oh. Well, that's problematic.
おそらく車両は放棄するでしょう。追跡は困難です。警察に追わせますか？
そうね。家出娘の捜索願いでも出そうかしら。税金を納めてるんだもの。警察にもたまには役に立ってもらわなきゃ。母上に私にお任せをと単価を切ってお屋敷を出てきたんですよ。あなた。
You know, instead of like chasing after Ansi, like you could be using your money to save like your wealth or something, but no, instead you're like buying security guards to chase after this one person. Underground tea room. Oh no.
本当に可愛い子ね。自分勝手で自由奔放なあたりが本当にそっくり。もう姉さんにしか見えなくなってきたわ。本当に楽しみよ。姉さんの娘をお茶室にお招きできるなんてね。
Wow. We found someone more evil than Eva. I was not aware that was possible. And I think I am going to end here just because I've been going a little bit and I gotta switch the laundry again. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. This is great appreciated. And yeah, see you all in the next one. Bye.